Hello everybody and welcome to this video. If you have seen my last video, which was about the Bomberspam, um, you might know that actually in simulator mode, especially in enduring confrontation, we have kind of a problem. I was giving some more thoughts into this, and this is kind of a follow-up video on my previous one, and I do think, or let's put it another way. Um, when you see this, you might come to the conclusion that players are actually the problem here, or bomber players. This is not completely true, and I do think that we have to think about this in another way to solve the problem at all. I wanted to record this with the enduring confrontation map in the back because I have some ideas which could help to give us all more fun in this game mode. Um, yeah, unfortunately, it will be over soon, and let me quickly show you something. Yeah, I do think we definitely have a problem in this game mode. Look at this, it's well, but the bomber spam itself is not my main focus for this video. I um, I want to say at first that we can't blame the players for doing the most effective thing in the game to grind their stuff, to grind silver lions and research points. And the main problem is not that people do this, the main problem is that it is no fun at all. I mean, it's no fun for the players that want to play close air support or fighter gameplay, because close air support is meaningless in terms of gains in the game, and the fighter players don't have any fighters to fight at, so they don't have fun at all. And let's be honest, grinding in the zombie style is also no fun. Or do you consider it fun to uh, take off, go in a straight line to the next airfield, press spacebar, crash into the airfield, and repeat this 20 times for 3 hours? I doubt that. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. But um, Gaijin is forcing us to some kind of dull, dumb gameplay, which is fun for nobody. And instead of blaming bomber players and all that, it might be more useful to think about how can we bring back the fun into enduring confrontation, make it rewarding for everybody, and yeah, give a balanced and fun gameplay. Because um, the problem is not only that some players like the fighters and the close air support players um, don't have so much fun in the games, it's also that there's huge imbalance towards bomber gameplay, and it is really not logic. A war is not won by bringing ashes to the enemy, so or by bombing a certain spot for a couple of hours. It's always won by the ground forces. It's won by covering ground, by taking objectives, and it just doesn't make sense the way it is right now. So what is missing in enduring confrontations is a gameplay that is taking resources and the taking of ground into account. And how can we implement this into this game mode? I do think that our main goal should look like that the team that wants to win the game should take the most ground or destroy all the resources of the enemy. I do think that the main goal in the game should be that the ground forces cover as much ground as possible, and every other action should only affect resources. What I mean by this is, let me show you on the Enduring Confrontation map. So, well, here we have the map. So, at the start of the game, this line should be in the middle, more or less. And on each side, there should be fortified positions. These should include tanks and pillboxes, and also anti-air and MG nests. And I do think that we need some more action on the ground, and these bases here, they should have purpose. I do think that it would be pretty cool if they create every 10 minutes or so a convoy that is driving to the front line and then attacks these fortified positions, and the role of the player should be to support this attack, which means that close air support planes will get a much bigger meaning because they have to attack these convoys, they have to support these ground attacks, and once every unit of the defender is destroyed, another convoy should get on its way to capture airfields and ground. So, and we could also add defending convoys that start at this base, for example, and try to close the lines again. So once they reach this sector here, they start to fortify again, maybe not with pillboxes, but only with tanks. But in that kind of way, we would create something going on here on the ground, and it would be meaningful to destroy one of these bases. Because at the moment you just take off, destroy the base, you don't know why, it just gives a drain here, but there is no meaning to this. And I think with giving the action in the game more meaning, it will also create some kind of role play and maybe bring more fun into this game mode. And also I do think that the AI by itself, when they attack one of these fortified positions here, they shouldn't be able to win this alone, so that there is no self-going one-sided winning scenario. This should always be assisted by players, and if not, then it's should just be impossible for the AI to capture this grid and move on to the next airfield. All the existing templates that we have, like the civilians aircraft, the attacker formations, bomber formations, and also the air supremacy template, would perfectly fit into this. And the question is, of course, how should a game be won? I do think that a game should only be won if one group either covers most or all of the ground. So when the time is up, like the 3 hours are over, the team with the most ground covered is the winner, or if one team runs out of resources. I do think that the lack of display of resources in Enduring Confrontation is one of the main issues that also favors the Zomber gameplay. Life is not precious, even though it should be in simulator. And if one team runs out of resources, and by that I mean player spawns, it should also lose. So you should not be rewarded for flying over to the enemy side and die by intention. That's why I think every site should have a limited number of spawns. So in the action of the game, capturing airports should reduce that number, and we can talk about how high this number should be. Let me know in the comments what you think, how many spawns one site should have. I do think that it shouldn't be higher than 100, so that life is really precious, that you can't throw away a pilot's life so easily. And I also do think that we should change the way spawns work in Enduring Confrontation or in Simulator. I think it's time to get rid of the spawn points. The spawn point system is just putting the SB players at a disadvantage if you compare it to other game modes, because in RB I can fly the Phantom all day long. I can hop into a game, get shot down, okay, next game, Phantom again. Why, as a simulator player, I have to wait for 30 minutes when I get shot down in the Phantom? It's not displaying anything, so it's just stupid. It doesn't make sense at all. We could talk about limiting several planes, but I think it's not fair if you enter a game and the players that have been there before wasted all the Phantom spawns. Also, it's putting newcomers to Simulator at a massive disadvantage, because they have to struggle hard to get into the top tier planes, and they are already facing more experienced players, and it's just no fun to fly around in your low BR plane. You have to compensate the lack of experience and the lack of power to your plane. It's just not fair, and it doesn't make sense in any way. I do think that we should get rid of this and maybe limit the player spawns, so that the player's life really has an impact on the outcome of the battle. I think that maybe 10 per game is enough. What do you think? Put it in the comments. And this kind of limitation would also prevent suicide bombing. Let me put that clear. I really don't mind if you get millions of SL with your bomber or RP or whatever. What really bothers me and the other simulator players is that you can do it in such a stupid way. Just take off, go straight into the AAA, load your bombs on the airfield and repeat. There is no gameplay coming out of this, and I really doubt that it is fun for the bomber player. It's not satisfying. I really don't think it's satisfying from the gameplay perspective. Maybe from the reward perspective it's satisfying, but not from the gameplay. I highly doubt that. Yes, with limiting the spawns of a player, a player's death really has an impact on the outcome of the battle, and I do think that's the way it should be. Some people might say that the spawn point system and the timers are like limiting the number of high BR planes and give more variety on the battlefield and all this shit. I really doubt that. I do think that people will also fly low BR planes because they want to spade them. They want to finish that plane, they want to fly it in the final stage, in the most upgraded stage, and some people also like to be challenged. So what's the conclusion? I do think that we should limit life of players as a precious resource. It should directly affect the outcome of the battle, and I think that if we treat it like this, it will maybe not stop, but reduce the bomber spam and especially the suicidal techniques of bombers, and let the action of taking ground and assisting to this be the tip on the scale to shift the outcome of the battle into your favor. And of course, I would like to know what you think about all this. Write your thoughts in the comment. What do you think about the current situation? What do you think about limiting player spawns and player lives? What do you think would be a good number of spawns that you have, for example, for attackers and fighters and bombers? And of course, what do you think about taking away the spawn point system? Because this is just stupid. It's just stupid. All right. So thank you for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video. Let me know why you don't like, if you don't like the video, and maybe consider to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. And now I say bye bye, take care.